that when they hired them or asked them to be part of an art, that they were getting good information.
Excellent idea.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful. Appreciate it. Everybody, thank you all for being here. The next 5, Richard Schwager from Seabrook. Christopher Williams. Oh, Chris Williams cannot be here. He's already left. But let the record reflect that he wanted to speak on transition. He does have written testimony, and he's from Katy. Candace Schwager, I'm assuming, president and attorney, president of Attorneys for Special Needs Children, and she's from Seabrook. Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you.
And Zachary. Are you Zachary?
Yeah.
How did I know? Because you're the littlest one here, right?
Yes.
I have a grandson named Zachary. How old are you, Zachary?
Oh, I'm 10.
10 years old. You're older than my Zachary.
Yeah. Last month I just graduated from 4th grade.
Good for you. Good for you. Okay, Zachary. And are you Jake? No.
You can call me Jake. I like the name Jake.
I'd like to call you by your real name.
My name's Richard. This is my wife, Candace.
Oh, that's
my son,
Richard.
Zachary.
Okay, is that your dad, Zachary?
Yeah.
You brought him along?
Except for there's 2 people that are not here in the family.
Oh,
2 little brothers.
2 older brothers.
No, the little brothers.
Oh, little brothers. Well, you know about little brothers.
Yeah.
Okay,
They're going to be torturing me.
Tell you what you want to talk about.
Okay, well, I'm going to give you... Well, you already have the microphone. Go ahead.
Thank you, Jenny.
Well, why don't
Thank
we let
you.
you go?
Okay.
You got 3 minutes, buddy. So as soon as you start talking,
Tell
the green
your
light.
story about what happened.
Okay, well, when I was starting 4th grade, you see, there was 2 bullies came, and they started being mean to me. Like you say, first of all, one of them, the head one, there were 2 bullies. The leader of those 2, he kicked me in the leg with a basketball, and it hit my ankle. It almost made me cry. I was like, ow, ow, ow. And so, also, well, you see, and also, he said, and also one time during a math test, the other one said I suck at math, because they constantly insulted me. I mean, literally, it was cruel. It was very cruel. Okay, so then...
Did you kick him back?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, this is the funny part. At lunch, I was fighting back. I did that loser symbol, but now on my forehead, then pointed to him. I'm like, hey, this is you.
We usually do this.
Yeah, he mocked. Yeah, I was like, this is you. So then, you see, they were constantly mocking me to the point to where I said I feel like I'm gonna be a failure in life. And then they were cruel to me, like they said I'm horrible at different things, such as math. And then there's a bunch of different things that happen, like say I'm really slow at PE, but I'm really slow since I have asthma, so in PE I run really slow. And like the head bully, he's pretty fast. I mean, literally, he's faster than anybody in the class. And he's really mean to everybody. So pretty much the school wouldn't do anything about it. I mean, literally, they would do nothing. See, literally, they would do nothing about it. They've been cruel and mean. And so eventually they're mocking me and being physically abusive to me enough to where I started an anti-bullying club with my friends.
Good for you.
We all teamed up against him, and the school did nothing.
Good for you.
But then here's the thing. But then just for backup, my mom came in to show him who's boss.
I bet you scared him off, not your mom.
Yeah, I tried to. We scared the living daylight out of them.
Well, I don't know who these children are or these kids are, but your vocabulary and the manner in which you present yourself must have scared the living daylights out of them, too.
I know. I was like, you better back off, because you don't want to know what's about to come to you. And that's my story there. Okay.
Thank you, Zachary. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Senator. And I just can't tell you what an honor it is to be here. I never imagined in 13 years of practicing law that I would be sitting here. It's a great privilege, a great undeserved privilege, and yet it's bittersweet because the story I have to tell is so painful that it's almost unbelievable. And that's why I've left the packet that I've left for each of these senators to review, because it's so horribly abusive. I've never been through it like anything in my life. What I wanted to do this year, it started with the bullying. It was a lot more severe than Zach tells you about. You know, he misses a lot of details. It was pretty severe. And I stepped in to say, please stop. You know, just stop. Nobody would do anything. Principal didn't do anything. I go up to the assistant superintendent and the general counsel. They tell me that I don't have a private right of action under the Texas anti-bullying statute, despite the fact that my son has some disabilities and it's a violation of federal law. They would do anything. They just told me to, you know where to jump. And I was livid. So I started blogging, and then they threatened to sue me for libel. And so, this thing just grew. And I got angry and angry just at the whole thing. So then I formed a nonprofit. And I thought I really started to see what these children were facing, and that they don't have lawyers, and they can't afford lawyers, and I know that because they can't pay me, and I can't pay my staff. They work for free right now. We take on children who can't afford help because there's nobody else there to help them. And in Region 4, if you don't have a lawyer, you're toast. I'll say with the exception of Thompson Horton. Those are some good guys. But the other guys, that's a different story. There needs to be some major change. There's so much corruption in Region 4. There needs to be some change at the bottom level, because the people at the bottom level will not enforce the law. I go to the deputy superintendent. He actually did something, but not effective. And then I finally go through a level 3 grievance. I cried through the whole thing, begged for this man to take the lawyer off my case who was beating my family to death. And he mocks me. His ruling is mocking me. It's the most disgusting letter you've ever seen. You'll see it in the package. But basically, so I can't get any help for bullying. And you know what? My son was ultimately qualified in the IDA for low resilience to victimization. Well, thank God I have some high resilience to it. I have been beaten half to death by these lawyers for 5 months for standing up for these children, and they have sought to make an example out of me. And so here I am to say that you're not going to make an example out of me. So what I will say is Zach was born. He is the most incredible person I've ever met. Sweetest person, biggest heart, heart of gold. And to think that anybody would intentionally set out to hurt him, it's unbelievable. But they did. When I reported in January that he might have dyscalculia and visual impairment, they set out covertly to give him special ed services to prove he didn't need them. And they hid this from our family. They put us through 5 months of just utter, I don't want to use the word because it's not a word I should use here, but suffering. So much suffering. I've lost 10 pounds. I've almost lost my job. I had to go get hospital treatment, IV treatment 3 times. I can barely function. I'm up every night till 5 in the morning writing a federal petition because I want to do something about this. Because I see families suffer. And, they say that depriving, this guy's answer to my federal petition is that depriving a child, a disabled child, of an education is not a crime. That's what his answer is. That's pathetic. And he says, you've got administrative, you have civil recourse. You can push me through administrative hearings like the one you just did, where they pushed me through a 5-6 hour due process hearing without evidence, without an ARD meeting, without an official denial of eligibility, so that at the end I could find out that I couldn't get a ruling. How ridiculous is that? They have known since kindergarten that Zachary had problems. He was a pound when he was born. Open your hand, he would fit in it. He had heart surgery. He had eye surgery. They burned away his peripheral vision. He has a 2-year delay in visual spatial, which I told them in January to check that out. They refused to do it. They violated the IDEA and said, we're not going to test. And they say, we're not going to give you an IEE because we didn't test. That's real convenient. And I begged them. I begged them for months to turn this around and stop, and they wouldn't do it. And so, their raw data in their own report says my son's visual closure is less than 1%. How much more off the chart do you need to be for somebody to help you? And all I ever asked for was help. And in return, I got the biggest beating I've ever had in my life. And I can tell you, in 13 years of civil litigation, I know why they call it civil. Because this is not. It's anything but. This is an all-out, war. And in fact, this lawyer told me that I could be his enemy or his ally. I'm not his ally. I don't hurt kids. I help kids. So I said, sorry. They tried to bargain with me for my own civil rights. Twice. They tried to bargain with me for coverage under the IDEA 504, acknowledging that it existed, and then they turn around and put me through a 6-hour hearing where they tell the judge that he's not covered. He's not even covered in 504, despite the fact that dyscalculia, visual motor integration, visual spatial, developmental, he's been in occupational therapy just to learn to eat for 9 years. And these people, that is such a blatant fraud. And as I was sitting in that meeting and they're telling me, your child doesn't qualify, I walked out crying because I just knew it. I knew what they were doing to me. And I asked the occupational therapist, I said, doesn't he qualify? Based on what you said, I would think he qualifies. She said, I'm not the one who makes the decisions. Well, now I know who does. The report was sent to Jeff Rogers to edit for 3 weeks. The diagnostic report that denied my kid help was sent to a lawyer to edit him out of help. And you know how I know that? All their emails say, let's stall testing so BFAR's up. Let's have a signing party. Is this something to celebrate? Let's have a signing party when we're done. And by the way, they did talk to Dr. Gerald Sherman at the University of Houston, learning disabilities expert, despite the fact they deny learning disability. They're providing my son with math inclusion, despite the fact they deny math learning disability. And they denied all of this. They put me through this for months for nothing. And now they want to put me through another hearing? And now I said, you better not argue administrative exhaustion because they blocked my claims. They blocked my ability to hear it. And what do? I file in federal court. They, failure to exhaust. I get more harassment. And you know what? I can tell you that I have 4 families who wanted to provide affidavits that they're so afraid their children will be retaliated against and their services will be taken away. Who wouldn't do it? But I do have a few in there, like my first client who they viciously attacked. So this is insane. I wish I had happy stories to tell like everybody else. I wish I did. I've never been so devastated in my life at the hands of a lawyer in my school district. How in the world do these people sleep at night?
Thank you very much. Appreciate your testimony. Richard, did you want to speak?
Yes, I did.
Sure. Just state your name and who you represent.
Richard Schwager. I represent myself, my son Zachary. We included a copy of our RICO petition, racketeering petition, to the federal court. We're coming here because we need state help. There's corruption in our area, and my wife's discovering corruption, and unfortunately in many places now that she's beginning to specialize in this area of law. The law firm that represents our school district, Feldman Rogers, the primary partner, has now become the city attorney for Houston. So there's too much detail for me to go into at this time, but we've tried to go through the proper channels. We're getting the runaround. We did an open records request. My wife might have mentioned that. We discovered emails, covert activity behind the scenes, and so forth. So we need state help, federal help. My wife actually met with some of the personnel from Arnie Duncan's office, Department of Education, and tax testing. There's I'm trying to remember all the issues with that. They gave my son private tutoring without letting us know to try to beef up his tax scores. Basically, they've been brushing him along since at least first grade, just pushing him along to go on to the next grade. And we asked a long time ago. We said, well, wouldn't it be beneficial to help him repeat, just to help him get caught up? And they wouldn't let us do that. We found detailed documentation from his first and second grade teachers saying, trying numerous different interventions to try to help him academically. He's got some issues, ADD, and some other issues. I don't want to go into too much detail right now. They've known for a long time. This all started to come apart when the bullying started with my son this year, since he's the smallest kid in the class. I feel like I need to take up for him when it's appropriate. And we went to the principal. They wouldn't do anything. He kept on getting bullied. The kids that were picking on him said, hey, if you don't shut up, we're going to beat you up. Stop going to the principal. Stop going to the teacher. And we just became irate. You expect your kid to be able to be safe in school. You expect the teachers and at least the principal to do something about it. And they wouldn't. It's it's not good to be a vigilante, but you get pushed to that limit. You get pushed to that edge, And my wife's a lawyer, so we're pursuing every angle we can at every level that we can. So once again, there's too much detail to go into. Hopefully, we can correspond with your office, but we do need state help in this issue, and it'll be good for all the special ed children in the state to have. The system is slanted against the parents. It's slanted in favor of the school districts, and they're given the final say, and it's just not a level playing field.
Thank you very much. Zachary, thanks for bringing your parents.
Thank you. Sure thing.
Sure thing.